Well, hello, everybody. Today we have with us Marc Fields, who is the new Kenton County jailer. Jailer Fields, thanks for your time today.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. So, not a lot of people probably are aware of what the jailer does, Marc, but also before we jump into that job, maybe you could share with us a little bit about your background and now that you've transitioned into the jailer position. What is your background?
So it was a ride, sir. So I'm a native of Covington, graduate from Holmes High School. Right after high school, 6 days after graduation, I went into the Marine Corps Reserves. Went right to Paris Island, which I was a equipment engineer in the Marines. I did that for 4 years on the active reserve, 2 years in active reserve, honorable discharge. After I got back from that, I started attending the University of Kentucky. And while I was at the University of Kentucky, I got a part-time job with the University Police Department, which was kind of enlightening. I didn't really see myself on this career path, but that intrigued me at the time. Ended up in the dispatch position, then I ended up taking the police test and got hired until from 83 to 86. And then from 86, I came up here back north to the city of Erlanger, where I spent 31 great years. Made it all the way to chief, was lucky. I had a lot of great people around me helping my career. I was lucky enough to get to attend the FBI Academy. The city allowed me to do that. And then my last 4 years at the city, I spent as the city administrator. The mayor asked me to see if I'd be interested in that job. So I did that job for 4 years. And then I decided to retire. And then you were gracious enough to, you and Mr. Carl offered me a part-time position down here where I came and acted as the chief deputy on the administration side for 2 years. And then Mr. Carl decided to retire. And again, I thank you for having faith in me and appointing me as the jailer, which I took over as January 1.
It's been an amazing ride so far. And I tell you what, we're very fortunate with your background and your ability to lead to be in the position you are, because you've now got this facility and the team who runs it and works there daily under your administration there. Maybe people don't realize how important this jail and this jail here in Kenton County is and what it does. Maybe you can give us a recap, also the population you're managing, et cetera.
Okay, so I didn't even realize how large this operation was, even though I had spent all those times over 30 years dealing with the county detention center, really not being inside of it. Altogether, we have about 144, 145 staff members. On the security side, we have 98. The rest of those are support staff, along with our JSAP program, which is our jail substance abuse program. And we have a home incarceration program that we run. So it's a very large operation that we deal with. Our JSAP program, which is our jail substance abuse program, has about 120 clients in it. Out of that, 90, I believe, are county, 30 are state. It means we are the only county detention center in the state of Kentucky that actually runs a county substance abuse program. So I think that's something we all can be very proud of. As a matter of fact, the latest numbers that we have from that program, and I went from June 1 just till today, and we've had 532 people, right, in that program that were released from this facility to outside treatment, right? So the 120 that we have in-house, we also have an outside program that our clinicians support with the community assistance that's out there. And 532, and I think everybody will be really happy about this, right? Out of that 532, since July 1 of 2020, 363 of those have completed that training and completed that counseling and have not reoffended, right? Now, on the other side, we have 169 that did fail and that have reoffended or failed to complete the treatment program. But that is a pretty good success rate. That's about a 69% success rate, which is really good. Which helps the community tremendously. I think what we're seeing more of anything else is a huge substance abuse program, especially during this pandemic. I think we've seen many increases in our numbers with that on the substance abuse side. And I think all those professionals on that side will tell you the very same thing. That we've seen that. But we're very proud of that. And a lot of people I didn't realize this. We are the third largest county detention center as far as booking in new inmates in the state of Kentucky. We're just behind Jefferson County and Fayette. It's very large.
And this team and this work that you're doing, so we typically think of a detention center just being where your city and your sheriffs and others who drop off those who are offenders and let them get locked up. But behind the scenes of that is you're working with not just this, as you referred to, the substance abuse program effort, community partners, life learning center, transitions, et cetera, treatment facilities. But you're also then, as I referred to, you're dealing with the judges who decide what these individuals are locked up for, how long they're locked up, the Commonwealth attorneys, Rob Sanders, his team, right? So you're dealing with all these in and out, partners to make sure that population doesn't grow too great, but also that you keep the community safe, right? So was such a challenge of that. And tell us about how that looks today in a pandemic too. I mean, this is a unique time for operating a detention center, especially one as large as you have.
It's very unique. So just some numbers. So in 2019, our average population was 771 inmates. In 2020, that number dropped dramatically. Our average daily capacity or population was 571. So you're right. The partners that we've worked with, the judges, the prosecutors, they've done a lot to reduce our population. And in doing so, we found some alternatives, to just being incarcerated. And I think we've seen some success from that, with people not reoffending and doing some things. So that has had a real effect on our population. Now, dealing with the pandemic inside, we have had COVID inside here. Right now, it is very low, very low. We went through a spell where we had several inmates and staff members that had tested positive for COVID, but we did get that under control. And now we're down to, I believe, one as of today. Right? So I think that has been a real challenge for us dealing with it, not only on an inmate side, but on a staffing side. It has been a real challenge for us to do.
So really, and to recap, you've got this third largest detention facility in the state. You've got over 100, almost 150 employees. You've got 600 plus on there, and your averages are probably, unfortunately, going to average back up as we come out of this pandemic of almost 600 to 700 inmates. How many bookings typically do you deal with on a given day of police bringing individuals into your facility?
On a given day?
Yeah, on average. Yeah.
Daily. It fluctuates. Day of the week, things like that.
Sure.
We're averaging somewhere between that 50 and 60 mark a day.
And that's individuals who may be there for hours, maybe there for weeks, right? So you've got this, and then you disseminate which population they go into, and then again, you have to work with all these other partners to try and make the best decision for the county and those inmates and those who've been offended, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and those, so most of those that get booked in, right, they do get out, right? So, once arraignment comes, during the pandemic, they started, the administrative offices before started an administrative release program. So there are certain criteria for first offenses where people are automatically released, right? Which has helped tremendously with that one. The Supreme Court in the state of Kentucky set up those, and they have been a tremendous asset during this pandemic for that.
That's great. Well, Marc, we could talk about the inner workings of the jail for the public here probably for many hours, but one of the things I think would be important for people to understand is this balance between incarceration and wanting to get people back on the street to be, supporting members of society, paying their bills, filling jobs, and being productive. To that end, you were on the other side for 30 years. You were arresting individuals, you were bringing them to jail. Now you're keeping them locked up, but also trying to get them back out on the street being productive. How has your mind changed, or has it changed over the years about what you've seen. What insight could you offer a typical resident of Kenton County with your experience?
My attitude has changed over the years. It truly has. I've been through with the law enforcement side of it, pretty much every drug pandemic or epidemic that we've had from the drug of choice at the time. Right? We have never won the war on drugs, and we have put so many assets to it. And I think a lot of that time it was all just, put them in jail, lock them up. That mentality has changed, and I think for the better. Trying to get more treatment out there, especially for the drug addiction part of it. We do have to do a lot about the rehabilitation side of this. Right? The rehabilitation side, that is the goal, right? We want people to get their lives back together, be a productive part of society, productive part for their families, and anything that we can do. We're trying to build now some partnerships with the Life Learning Center, which is a great organization that have done some wonderful things. They serve many, many people in our community. As a matter of fact, I'm meeting with them again this afternoon and trying to further some things that we're doing. There's a lot of things that I have found over my career that there are truly services out there, but we have to connect the services to the people that are in need. And I think that that's where our system is lacking, and how to communicate that. I've said that my last few years of being in the police world, right? There's a big gap. People just don't know where to go get the help, to get the assistance. The state of Kentucky has now just done the programs that we offer inside. They have now changed up a lot of programs for the Department of Corrections that we're offering in here. We're trying to get those back up and running. We had to suspend a lot of those due to the pandemic and COVID. We are attempting to get those back in, and hopefully we can get those started as soon as we possibly can.
Great. Well, when you look at your background and the great work that, obviously your predecessor, Terry Carl, built around that facility, and then now you get to kind of take it on from here. If there was one thing that you wish that the community would know about the Kenton County Detention Center that they probably don't know today, what would it be?
The one thing, and I want to tell you, it's one thing that I didn't know. Okay, so and being as close to this, that I should have been during my career and my experience. Just the day-to-day workings in here and what it is that we actually do. Right? From healthcare to the mental health assistance that we're trying to facilitate, the addiction services part, the job training part. All of those things, we don't see that come out of this facility. And I think all of those things that are supportive of the security side of it, right, that I know is just even the being in the police side and just being a resident of Kenton County, didn't realize those kind of things really were going on in here. And that's the message, right? I think that we want everybody to know that it's not only, well, we're going to put them behind four walls and some bars and keep them there, right? That's not the mentality. And that's never been the mentality here in this facility. Mr. Carl did a great job of instituting a lot of programs here. And my job has got to be to continue and hopefully enhance those some way.
Well, it's obviously he made a great choice in bringing you on, and you've made a great choice and we appreciate your choice to continue to serve in that role. So thanks for everything you're doing, Marc, and to your entire team.
Sir, I appreciate the opportunity, and we do. We have a great team here, and I'm thankful for them every day and for the support that you and the fiscal court show us.
You bet.